Patricia Altschul, that's right. We have the Grand Dame, the matriarch of Southern Charm here with us today. This From the Vault series has it has legs actually. So everyone seemed to love. Who did we have from the vault? We had Juicy Joe, Kathryn Dennis, Claudia Jordan, Jackie Goldschneider. Well, today we have a From the Vault, Patricia Altschul. Never, and I mean never before heard chat with Patricia Altschul. Never before heard. The only people that have heard this are me and Patricia and maybe Whitney, because he was in the room. He was coming and going in the house. I mean, Whitney's got to do what he's got to do. Other than me and Patricia, and probably Whitney, no one has heard this chat. This was recorded not even so long ago, but at a prior time before her beloved butler passed away, Michael. So, RIP Michael. He was such a huge part of the show. We talk about that. We talk about Kathyrn. We talk about Cameran Eubanks. Anyone want Cam back as much as I do? Obviously, we talk about the boys. We talk about JT, but Craig and Austen and Shep. And the show is just so different now, right? We have Southern hospitality. So this was recorded. This is a From the Vault, never before heard. My voice is cracking. Never before heard chat with Patricia Altschul. I have wanted Patricia on this podcast for decades. I haven't even done this for decades. I've only done this for years. I think I've wanted her on the podcast for about 6 years since my second episode. So we are continuing this. Seems to be a hit. This From the Vault. This is never before been heard. A chat with Patricia Altschul recorded at a prior time. So kick back, relax, and enjoy this chat with, I think, the best cast member of Southern Charm, Miss Patricia Altschul. Not worth my marriage. It's not worth my family. It's not worth it.
Well, that's exactly her attitude and what she said.
Are you shocked that Kathyrn isn't there, that they parted ways with her?
No, I think they should have done it earlier. I think she's a liability primarily to herself. I don't think the show is good for her in any way. No.
Is that why you think just because like her real life just got too toxic for the show?
Well, I mean, I'm not the one that fired her, but I would guess that that was the reason. And there are many things that go on that you don't see on the show. I mean, if you're interested, you can Google her.
There's a lot out there if you Google her, we all know, I mean, I think everyone knows, that she, like you said, like Thomas really is, it sounds like, he's a full-time, like hands-on dad now raising these kids. I mean, he has full custody and she doesn't have custody at all. Like, does any part of you feel bad for her, or is it just kind of like you reap what you sow and, like you said, you're your own worst enemy and you did this to yourself?
I guess I'm kind of hard-nosed about drugs. I don't understand why anybody, knowing that you can become addicted and knowing that you could die, I mean, with fentanyl being laced with everything, to me, I don't understand it. I I don't know. I do feel sorry for her, but she did everything wrong for her own life. I mean, I wish she could do it all over again and do it the right way and make better choices, because it's just been a downward spiral. Do I feel sorry for her? Yes, but also I don't understand it.
I'm kind of like you. I'm kind of hard nosed with drugs. I mean, I'm like you. I don't do gin, but just give me a nice vodka martini with a little twist of a lime. And one is not enough, and two is right. Often three, but after three, it's like the night is here. Let's call it. So I never got into drugs. That's just me. It's not my thing. So I kind of am hard nosed when it comes to that too.
Yeah, yeah, there's certain things I'm old school about. Uh, I know that people do recreational drugs. I just don't understand it. I don't adhere to it. I think it's stupid. You can wreck your life, and unfortunately, she has.
Is Kathyrn, you want Cam back the most? Would Kathyrn be the person that you least think should come back into this group?
Yes, I think that's safe to say.
What about all of this? If you, like you said, you Google Kathyrn, what about there's all this stuff out there, this new reports that, she's involved in this hit and run and, at the school and like the Ford Bronco, the 2022, and there was a white woman driving it and the car fits her description. I mean, she hasn't really said anything. I mean, but she's apparently involved in this hit and run if you Google it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really follow that. But, there's one disaster after another. There are other things too. I mean, I don't know. I don't think she's been charged. And you have to remember too that her father and grandfather were politicians from that area. So I don't know. I hope she's not going to be charged, but they did trace the license plate back to her car. But, again, I think that reality shows can kind of test your mettle. And some people can flourish and monetize it and have a good time with it and not take it or themselves too seriously. And other people, I don't know, begin to believe that they're TV stars and, live their life as if they were, Marilyn Monroe. And I think that's when you get into trouble.
Everybody is replaceable, right?
Everybody is replaceable. And as you can see from Southern Charm, it started out being Southern Gentlemen, and it's really ended up being Southern Gentlemen because the women come and go, but the guys remain the same, not only in person, but they don't change that much from one year to the next.
You don't think it's gone to like any of their heads, Craig or Shep or Austen? They've remained the same that you've known of them from before the show?
Oh, I think it's gone to Craig's head for sure. But it's kind of endearing. It doesn't bother me. I think it's gone to his head. No question.
Do you think, because you put it out there on Twitter and you got negative comments, but like you said, Thomas does make great TV. Do you think like maybe you could approach Whitney and say, hey, maybe instead of approaching Cam every year, she says no, we should approach T-Rav and bring him back into the mix?
Well, actually at BravoCon, I sat next to, I won't say names, but I had lunch with one of the heads of Bravo, and they're the final say. And we were talking about cast members, past and present. And I can pretty much say that there's no way that Thomas would ever be brought back on. Let's not forget that he tried to sue, I think, the production company and Bravo and NBC. So once you do that, that's kind of it.
I agree. That's like what Nene Leakes did. And like, Atlanta Housewives has seen better days, but I try to tell everyone, I don't think we're ever going to see Nene back on that because I think once you sue, that's about it.
I would say that for sure.
But you sat there with one of the heads of the final say, and if they're saying no to you at BravoCon during a launch, then I think that's probably the final say.
Well, I'm not saying that that's what they said. Let's just say that just out of ether, I would guess that that's the case, because I certainly don't want to be quoting anybody as defense. But my impression is that it won't happen.
When you brought up his name, they weren't saying, Patricia, this is the best idea we ever heard. Thank you so much.
Well, I brought up several names. But I suspect there'll be a few perhaps changes and perhaps some new people. But let's make sure that we get renewed first.
One thing at a
That's the
time.